Hello and welcome. Are you tired of having to switch your build constantly? Patch after patch, change after change? What if I told you you didn't have to? What if I told you the power was inside of you all along? See, when I stopped playing ESO 5 years ago, I knew I would have to make changes to my build videos. Don't worry, I've still continued to market my builds as current and up to date. And you'll still follow them because, hey, you've heard of me. See, I developed a bold strategy to keep my channel relevant. I call it the name paradox. I may not know exactly what paradox means, but I also keep thinking they are asking me to make build videos for Elder Scrolls 6, so I guess we're all a little behind. Anyways, I've taken all of my old builds and just keep adding names to them, making them fresh and exciting. I'm also not incompetent. See, when I first made these build videos, I discovered if I didn't upgrade any of my armor, that I could easily make tweaks and improvements to what I already had, truly increasing the viability of my builds. You may even notice when I go over the armor later in this video, that my shoulders are now purple, which, if you were here last year, you know that was one place we felt like we could really improve. And wait until you see what kind of power gains that produced. But you're not here for entrepreneurial coaching. That's my other channel. You're here because ESO has gone through some big changes this year, and I'm here to guide you like a baby duckling across the river. Sure, we may have lost a few of your siblings, but the snapping turtles remind us of an important lesson when it comes to builds. If you stop to think through whether this is really the right direction to go, there's a good chance you'll be pulled down to the murky depths of obscurity. Best to leave the thinking to me and go full force ahead without looking back. Without further ado, I present the Misty Tornado Disco Slasher Subclass Man build. When they announced subclassing was coming to the game, I'll admit I was skeptical at first. Taking the game underwater seemed like a bold strategy, but after taking a step back, I realized that might be exactly what the game was missing. Let's start with the race for this build. I don't honestly see any reason not to be an Argonian this patch. With a faster base swimming speed than any other race, a natural ability to breathe underwater, as well as I believe some form of echolocation communication with the slaughterfish, your enemies will be trading in those floaties for a mountaintop villa far from any water. Now, as far as for the class, you can get away with just about any class here. However, I imagine the Necromancer class will probably be the way to go. I didn't have an Argonian Necro, and God knows I couldn't be bothered to make one, so for this video, I'll be on a Warden. If I'm being honest, I don't really know if Argonians can breathe underwater, so there's a chance you may drown and die long before any fight can take place. Playing as a Necro, you can just bring yourself back to life to fight for you. It's science. As far as gear goes, I know I spoiled it earlier. The big change this year is with our shoulders. As you can see, this year we're rocking a purple rubidite pauldron, up from blue last year. We also have Hunding's Rage on our chest, legs, waist, hands, and feet. I feel confident in another 10 years we could be looking at a full purple set, but for now, we still have a really solid base to work with. Finally, for your headpiece, especially if you're not going with Argonian, you want to use the bucket. If Hollywood has taught me anything, it's that in the absence of scuba gear, all you need to do is create some form of air bubble and you can move freely underwater. The bucket is designed perfectly to capture those precious few seconds of air that might be the difference between a speed run and running back to your mommy. Plus, with it being a cosmetic item, you don't even have to waste time putting on an actual helmet. Now, something else that I believe might be new this year is the option to put on jewelry. Now, I'm a firm believer that jewelry depreciates in value much too quickly to be a sound investment. And if you do choose to wear it out, you're increasing your odds to be mugged by 300%. Now, you're certainly free to do what you want to, and I'm not going to stop you. But just take time to make sure the risk is worth it for you. For your weapons, you have a lot of flexibility. Just grab whatever's laying around. For me, I stole some guy's sword. Now that you've got the gear, how do you use it? Well, as mentioned earlier, today is a special day. In the past, we added in light attacks, heavy attacks, and even last year we threw in what the game refers to as a dodge roll. With all the big changes to the game this patch, you knew they would throw in some surprises for us. This is the big one. For the first time in any of my build videos, we're adding not just one, but two new skills into the rotation. The devs finally listened to us this year, and for the first time ever, you can now not only block, but also even bash your enemy. To do this, what you're going to want to do is press and hold your left bumper. This will bring up your block skill. While holding the block skill, if you press the right bumper, you will then quickly do a bash attack. I will stop here and make one apology that I am on Xbox, but you're all adults. I'm sure you'll figure it out for whatever console you're on. As you know, anytime they add something new to the game, it usually comes in very overpowered and will be getting nerfed at the next big patch. So the sooner you jump on this new meta, the more time you will have to be able to take advantage before any nerfs happen. With adding in two new skills, I think it was a given, but obviously this is going to be in our S tier of difficulty as far as the rotation. It is going to be difficult to get down for newer or more inexperienced players. But I imagine when people start to get it down, it will slowly become a required build for any of the more difficult content as well as score pushes. But that's why I'm here. I'm going to show you 3 rotations at varying difficulties to help ease you into the most advanced version. Starting out, we have our more beginner-friendly rotation. I like this one because it utilizes both new skills and is a very simple rotation. All you have to do is hold block and then rapidly start spamming your bash attack. As you can see, this does rapidly drain your resources. So I would, however, not recommend it for long fights. Moving on to our more intermediate rotation. This is if you feel comfortable throwing in a heavy attack every 5 bashes. This advanced movement allows you to recover a small portion of your resources to extend how far you can go. As you can see, the heavy attack also looks pretty strong, so I can't even imagine how much power that's going to add. Now, our final rotation. This is going to be your hardest one, but it's going to come with the most reward, and I don't think any other build you will see will be able to top it. We're going to be using our full rotation from the past and then adding in both new skills. With this, timing is everything, but once you get it down, you'll never need to do another DPS test again. Now I'm going to take this one a little bit slower, so what we're going to do to start with is a light attack. This obviously does damage, but more importantly, not enough to frighten your opponent, opening the door for our next combo. You then want to move immediately into a dodge roll backwards. With your opponent both cocky and confused, now's the time to strike. You want to go immediately from the dodge roll into a heavy attack. With your opponent's guard completely broken from your first 2 moves, it will leave them open for maximum damage here. Now that you're in execute, we're going to add in our first combo and immediately bring up the block and then start bashing. Now, one important thing to remember here is don't get frustrated. This build took me almost 20 minutes to get down this morning, so it may take you a little bit of time, but I promise you, once you get it down, you'll never feel more powerful. As we get to the end of the build video, it's time to talk through some of the smaller details. For your CP trees, I would focus mainly on getting your green tree the way you like. I don't think the other 2 really affect much. I will say, before this morning, I didn't know what a CP tree was. I thought maybe that was the new way we were all agreeing to refer to a Christmas tree now. For your food, I found some crusty bread on a ship this morning, and it seems to be doing just fine. For potions, I like to carry a Ravage health potion with me, because ain't nobody gonna kill me but me. And finally, for your Mundus stone, I chose to go with the steed. Now, the health regen is not that important, but what I really like to see is that 10% increased movement speed. And there you have it. You've got everything you need to be ready to dominate this next generation of Elder Scrolls Online. So obviously this was more just for fun. If you choose to run this build, you might notice your friends creating convenient excuses for why they already filled that trial or dungeon run. However, if you're looking for some actual information from someone who is still active and still working to provide accurate and up-to-date builds and advice, I would recommend going over to check out Skinny Cheeks. He does an excellent job talking through his builds and doesn't just hit you with big fancy numbers, and I found that his opinion and reviews on changes to ESO are both fair and well thought out. He provides both the positive he sees, as well as things that could impact the game negatively, also adding his suggestions on ways that ZeniMax could go about fixing those. All without jumping into the extremes you see of the game being dead, trash, or on the flip side that ZeniMax can do no wrong. I'll put a link to his website and channel in the description below. Please definitely go check him out. And that's going to be the end of our video. As always, I appreciate you checking it out, and I'll see you next time.